So we just finished watching the Bethesda press conference for E3 2019, and this was so much better than EA's live stream that they did. Not only was all the information succinctly presented, but they focused on the games. They showed a lot of the community aspect for it. I thought that was a cool focus for them. They didn't spend too much time doing the talking head things. We got a couple of big game reveals that I want to go into, but first we were shown Doom Eternal. That was the #1 game that I was looking forward to them talking about this year, and they nailed it. It looks amazing. I want that game even more than I wanted it before I saw the actual trailers that they showed. So I'm really excited about Doom Eternal. They showed off a new multiplayer mode. It's like this weird pseudo-asymmetrical style 2v1 experience. So 2 people play as demons, 1 person plays as the Doomslayer, and they have a bunch of different stuff that happens. They can spawn in things. We don't really have a whole lot of information on it quite yet, but it looks pretty neat. They did show off more gameplay of the actual game as well, so pretty excited about that. It looks like, you still got the health power-ups on the ground, you still got pickups, 1-ups, all this kind of stuff. The video game aspects of it are still present, which I really like. A lot of people say they're not a fan of it, that it kind of kills their immersion, but that's never been really the point of Doom. Doom has always been about being a video game, being empowered, the power fantasy of being this machine who destroys demons. Like, that's the shtick. So I feel like they really delivered on that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they show off at QuakeCon this year. They also showed off some new stuff for Elder Scrolls Online. That looks like it's going to be pretty cool. I've never played that game myself. I might give it a go. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy XIV. That's been my MMO fix lately since WoW has been miserable. So I might give Elder Scrolls Online a chance. This looks, it's finally enticing me to give it a try at least. And I hear it's free to play, so I might give that a go. They showed off some new cinematic for it, so that was pretty neat. No actual gameplay of whatever they're doing, but, it is what it is. And then they showed off some more stuff for Fallout 76. I still don't care about that game. That game was just an absolute mess when it was released, and I feel like most people are going to wait to see reviews on this stuff. I feel like being a company everyone trusts gets you into the door a couple times, but if you deliver a product that is subpar, the vast majority of people are going to wait to see what the consensus is before they make the leap into your new game. I feel like they've got a long way to go because this game launched in such a terrible state, so hopefully this sort of repairs the damage done in terms of their PR, but we'll see. They showed off a new mode for it, and it's a Battle Royale mode, and for that I don't care. And in fact, there is no possible way that I could care less than I currently do about Battle Royale, and them using that as an announcement. It has no appeal to me, but I understand that there are people out there that really like Fortnite, that really love Apex Legends, that they really like Battle Royale, PUBG. Totally understand that. For those people, I think this might be interesting, but again, it's still kind of strapped underneath this cinder block that is Fallout 76, so I'm not sure how people are going to feel about that. And then they spent some time talking about their mobile games. So that includes Elder Scrolls Blades, that includes Elder Scrolls Legends, which is like their Hearthstone competitor, and then they made a new announcement for Commander Keen. They're bringing Commander Keen back, but it's going to be a mobile game. Now, I understand that there are parts of the world that use public transportation a lot. They're on the go a lot, so they resort to mobile gaming to meet some sort of, time kill for them. And I totally understand that. You live in New York, you live in Seattle, you live in Tokyo. I understand. Mobile gaming is probably pretty popular with you. Me, as someone who lives in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, not so enticing. It's not really something that's ever really appealed to me. I mean, I've messed around with a few gacha games like Final Fantasy, Opera Omnia, and things like that, but never really have spent a lot of serious time and investment on mobile games. It just feels like an ephemeral platform, something that's too nickel and dimey, and that style of monetization, it has no appeal for me, and I don't want to support that sort of ecosystem. But I understand that some people do. Totally fine. It's not for me though. They showed some new stuff for Wolfenstein as well. I haven't actually played any of the new Wolfenstein games. I know that seems crazy because I know the remake that they came out with a few years back was fairly popular. I just never got around to it, so maybe they're going to come out with some sort of big Game of the Year edition that I can invest in and play it that way. But they showed some new stuff off for the new expansion. They've got a new VR game coming out as well that looks pretty interesting. VR, I'm glad that developers are still investing into that and are still developing ways to make that profitable, but VR is still one of those techs that is just not caught on enough in terms of mass consumption. And I really, I've said this before, I feel like it's going to take a company like Nintendo that finds a way to make it not only user-friendly, but the value proposition is there for people beyond just tech demos, which is what I feel like the vast majority of VR experiences are. And yeah, overall, it was a pretty decent conference. My final grade for this conference, I'm going to have to give it a solid B+. It wasn't super amazing, but it did all the right things. It did everything that I would want to see from an E3 conference. It may have felt by the numbers, but it was still what you wanted it. Now, I will say, one of the things that brought this conference down is the audience that they had. They had just people woohooing the entire time and interrupting announcers, and it was so distracting. Companies, I understand you need to have your plants, your marks there in the front row to be your hype men for your announcements in case you're worried that things aren't going to get a good pop like Fallout 76. But at the same time, there's a limit. There's like a level between shill and enthusiastic fan that I think you need to meet. So I felt like the audience was just way too ridiculous. But that being said, yeah, that's going to be my final grade for it, B+. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I'm going to have more E3 coverage coming up for you, so just a pretty quick review. Today we've got a lot of other big stuff. We've got the Microsoft one that I need to cover. We still have the Square Enix presser that I'm going to cover. And then I'm going to do just a big summation video for a lot of the smaller devs like Devolver Digital and things like that. Things that I'm still interested in, but that I don't think really necessarily need their own video. So, alright guys, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.